gonna like be huge on the ganks now, as blinking the sheep is actually just crazy in terms of single ganking or just ganking with two people.
Yeah, and speaking of item builds, it looks like we have a bit of an initiation on Medusa. Not too much of anything going to be happening at the moment, though. Nevermore is going to be making that BKB. He has the Mithril Hammer and Ogre Axe, and I'm not sure how well art style is going to play into the late game. He has been having terrible farm. He's been getting picked off left and right, and as we can see, he only has Treads and a Poor Man's Shield at this point. And how do you guys think art style's farm is going to be? He really can't stay in any lane.
I feel that the Nevermore getting BKB is indicative of how EHOME is winning the early game so much that they really force the Nevermore going into BKB first. Usually you see Nevermore either going to Lothar's first, Blink Dagger first, or Manta, but and really looks like that Blink Dagger is gonna come in and just they kill off the Witch Doctor so quickly before even Joe Ranger could get a silence. And Joe Ranger is not just not doing enough DPS at this moment. And like what Jack was saying, that early Blink Dagger is gonna allow them to bully so many people. But going back to the Nevermore item is that it's really a good sign to see they're actually losing, as there's another initiate going on Razor. Razor's taking so much damage at this point. One more Mystic Snake will do it, but with the nice TPs coming in from DTS, they will kind of try to counter gank this a little bit. I don't think they will get a kill, but let's have Jack take it from here.
Okay, so yes, they're still trying, but Medusa is actually, with his almost completed Lincolns, is decently tanked now, and so they do back away. And yes, Nevermore actually finishing his BKB, that's actually really impressive. I mean, I know we can't expect anything less from Dendi, but he's been one of the few people that's been doing very well on their team. And yes, BKB at 19 minutes, that is amazing. But yes, he does not have his Lothars or Blink yet, so even with his BKB, the ability to cast his ult will not be so strong as you would expect it to be. And there was a nice gank on Earthshaker by Dread on top. He did cast Maledict and his ult, but Earthshaker flew out of there. And Lion coming in with the blink yet again. Wow. Supports owning supports. You don't see that often.
Yeah, so really well played by the Lion player to go for that early dagger and just not, get something like a point booster or something, work towards the Aghanim Scepter, playing very aggressively, knowing that they have the lead, trying to maintain that lead with the dagger, and that really separates the pros from us, pub stomp players. It's that they really know how to solidify their victory. They don't let their opponents claw back in. Another thing I'd like to note really quickly is that Witch Doctor and I think Crystal Maiden, not so much as Witch Doctor. You guys want to comment on that before I talk about what I'm going to talk about?
Well,
Send your
sure.
X
The kill.
Torrent into Mystic Snake kill. Nothing really too interesting. So
Yeah, nothing
Oh,
too
keep
okay.
going.
Sorry about that. I was saying, Witch Doctor. Oh, meanwhile, it looks like we have a really nice initiation going on. Crystal Maiden and Fissure into an Impale. They pick off Crystal Maiden. It's just textbook play once again. What I was saying is that Witch Doctor spent a lot of time at top, babysitting the Drow Ranger rather than opting to gank and kill Lion, who's a pretty relatively easy hero to kill. And I never really commented on the wards placed at mid. EHOME surrounded mid with wards, just making sure they had vision of Nevermore constantly, and also wards playing not near the rune spots, but really near the ramp. And we see another ward placed by 820 there. If you guys check near the middle spot, just giving vision of the middle area so Kunkka can farm safely.
Yeah, if you just quickly toggle between the two teams, if you look at the Scourge vision, they have absolutely no vision into the forest. There's only one ward top river that actually sees people into their forest, and the confidence of EHOME is really showing. If you look at the creep waves, all push very, very closely to Scourge territory, and they're not even afraid. If you look at the line, they're Lion and Earthshaker, they're just roaming deep within the jungle of Scourge. And as the Sentinel team really picks up another tower, and if you look at the tower count, it's been, I guess, 3-1 right now, and EHOME is just winning this game every way possible. Dusa got his Lincoln Sphere already. Lothar completed on the captain. We have that Blink Dagger on the Lion, and really interesting item. Well, not interesting, but as we see it really more and more, the Soul Ring on the Earthshaker, allowing him to dominate really mid-game, having the mana capability to gank absolutely everywhere needed. And since they're moving around the map a lot, that Soul Ring is going to really help out a lot. So do you guys think that, can we count DTS out just yet, or are they going to, take this game really late game? They do have some nice carries. Do you think this is possible?
Well, I think, yes, EHOME is definitely doing astonishingly as they've done throughout this whole tournament. I mean, Dusa, that was a huge slump with 2 creep kills early game, and he has his Lincolns at 22 minutes, which is not slow in any standards. But DTS, they do, if they're Shadow Fiend, if Dendi can keep up his play and maybe get out an early Blink Dagger and start dominating a bit, they are still in this as Trax is on the road to farming up, even though not as much as it is 23 minutes, and he should be at least getting his Yasha at this point of time. But yeah, EHOME really doing very well. Everyone except for VS is farmed. And yes, he did mention the Soul Ring. It is a good choice, but I think ES went a bit overboard in this game. Not only getting the Soul Ring, also a Bracer and Intel Treads, and that causes him not to even have his Blink Dagger this far into the game, which I'm not sure if it's paying off. I mean, he can have the Soul Ring, but then he can hold off the Treads maybe and go for that, try to get that Blink Dagger a little bit early. So I'm not sure if I quite agree with that there. And yeah, do you have any comments on that?
I failed to commentate it, but I did notice the Soul Ring was picked up relatively early. It was one of his first items, in fact, after the boots. I think it's because Lion has the Blink Dagger, and they're just trying to initiate the long fissure into Lion blinking and letting Earthshaker catch up that way, because they have been picking off heroes. We haven't seen a giant team clash per se. And speaking of team clashes, I think that the Scourge team is going to have to get into one of those team clashes and really polish up EHOME. Otherwise, they really don't have a chance. And once again, the problem with that is they don't have these huge AoE disables. They're going to have to pick off a couple heroes before they initiate into a 3v5 or something like that. So hopefully if they can pick off Medusa or pick off Lion, pick off Earthshaker, they'll have a much easier time against a hero like Kunkka. So we'll see if they're able to do that here.
As we see in Penny teamfight, there's a really nice Fissure that actually stunned. Invisible ultimate coming out, gets swapped, canceling ultimate. Big bolt is going to come in, and it's going to hit every single thing. Looks like this is going to be deciding teamfight here. Razor living barely, but his entire team getting polished off. Venge gets the kill there, so that's a team wipe completely. And wow, this game is moving to a direction that is going to determine this ESWC tournament. They will pick off the early top tower, second tower, and they will go into the base. No, Dusa is going to TP out into more farm bottom. So this game is really putting a DTS on the back pedal. And let's see if Dendi and his boys will pull off something very, very magical, because they will definitely need it.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure the last time I looked at the scoreboard it was like 15-7, and now it's 24-7, so they have been owning ever since, I'd say, Lion got his Blink Dagger or something.